So, here comes the ball drop. Oh, they don't have Alice. This was all a red herring.
Yeah.
You don't say.
We should kill this guy just on principle.
No,
this should have been
this
should have been a bigger reveal or something. I don't know. I felt like I needed a payoff. Like I already knew this thing with the kidnapper was a stupid waste of time, and then for you to get at the end and for it to go, it's a stupid waste of time. Ha 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 ha! I felt kind of, yeah.
So that's the end of Alan Wake.
Yeah,
he just fell 60 or 70 feet off of a cliff into water, head first. His neck is broken.
His neck is broken. His bones, you know, are also broken, so no swimming for him. He might like float up just in time for the concussion to really settle.
Guys, Alan Wake's a hack writer. His stories are dumb like that. That's how he survived.
God damn it!
Someone rate Angels and Demons.
Did you guys notice that he was hunting and pecking?
Yes.
Hunting
totally
and pecking.
Well, I mean speed pecking.
What does that even mean?
I thought that was how you used a typewriter.
Like a bird? Like to eat?
You know, I'd always, you know, the events of this game had led me to suspect Alan Wake was a massive pecker. And now we have confirmation.
So we're gonna sit here and listen to this theme song?
No. It's important that we continue our tradition. What do we think of this music?
I can't even hear it. I always keep the string turned down.
Well, I think this might actually be one of the songs that was made for the game.
Did we just beat episode 4 or 3?
3.
This is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Up jumped the devil.
Yeah, it's Nick Cave and the Bad.
Wait, how do you know what episode we're on?
Yeah.
Because it says end of episode 3.
Oh, there at the bottom. I'm sorry, I missed. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the bottom of the screen, Josh.
Wait.
You need to wear your glasses while you're doing this, Shaman.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is a poor man's Tom Waits. There, I said it.
I'm afraid to have a musical opinion around Mumbles.
Either of those people
I agree with the music thing that Mumbles just said about music.
You don't know who Tom Waits is? What's wrong with you? Go do that.
Are you seriously telling me that writer just took out my deputies?
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming true. The genre of the story seems to be shifting.
Are you telling me that writer took out like 60 demons single-handedly with just a flashlight and a pistol? That's a
Alright, Donald Duck. Alright.
Apparently that wasn't a good enough joke for me to retain my ability to speak, so I'm just gonna move on.
Abort. Pull up. And now we get back into what I consider to be the awesome part of the game. I loved this scene. I was so into this stuff. I just thought this was great. Look at the game's messing with you. It's like, what am I seeing? For one thing, that is a really neat special effect where they've got one model fairly convincingly fading to another without this really severe pop. That's a pretty good thing to pull off. That's actually hard.
Yeah.
That little crossfade. The game starts messing with you. It's like, what am I really seeing? What happened? And why doesn't it do this to you while you're out in the wilderness fighting? You know exactly what's happening while you're out there in the darkness shooting Darkspawn. It doesn't mess with you. It doesn't make you question what you're seeing. It's just so bland. And then we get here and it's this mind screw.
I felt like this was happening to someone else.
Yeah, that's right, Chair. You stay there and you don't come back.
Couldn't focus.
I'm trying to figure out exactly why these segments work so well, and I really keep coming back to the fact that what you are doing is the plot. They are one and the same. The interactions are the story, and that's not at all the case in the shooty bits. And that's the only thing I can think.
Good evening, Alan.
Because, I mean, it's not like this is a great little adventure game. I mean, it's a cool story, but if you're really looking for cool puzzles or other things, there are games that do that way better.
Loud and clear.
Right. Yeah, there isn't much here to really satisfy you. There aren't a lot of decisions to make here or puzzles. And
use the QuickTime event to start the generator.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll
and it felt like
it should everything you might have forgotten. Little walk,
have something in it. Like we've got gameplay and we've got story, and the story is great and the gameplay is horrible, and the two of them are way far away from each other.
I wouldn't say the story is great. I
well, no.
So
the story has great potential.
Well, we can argue about I love this, the Xbox with the Night Springs game.
What the hell kind of TV is that to play an Xbox on?
Oh, that's terrible. But what we can argue about when we talk about this is the story great or not. I mean, when I talk about the story being great, I love the idea of a writer caught in a story. I think that's great. Now, obviously it has execution.
What the fuck?
I think that's why it's so.
I am the haunter of the chair.
If you ran full tilt into a chair that was propped up in a corner, you bang the fuck out of your shins too. That was pretty.
But it did like the whole like combat musical note and everything, like you're getting attacked by a Taken.
I wonder if you could die doing that.
You mean like in Skyrim where you bump your head against a hanging pot?
I wonder. So we're about to realize that it turns out that part of the reason that basically we're in a psychiatric ward that deals with a bunch of creative types, and all these creative types are being warped by the darkness, just like Alan is.
And also this guy is an asshole.
But there's a video game creator we're about to meet, and I never noticed that they had an Alan or a Night Springs game in there. And now I have to wonder if it's like,
bad
some sort of one of those
games.
Well, I was going to say, it's not even that Alan Wake's writing this. We're playing the game that was made by the game designer about the game in this universe. Like, his game turned...
Yo, dog, I heard you like games, so I put a game in your game.
Well, if Alan Wake wrote the story and the story came true, then...
She has been kidnapped.
Then he wrote a game and the game came true. And so he's here in the game, writing the game. I wonder if this guy that we run into is one of the game designers or based on their face model, who this is exactly that we're going to run into.
That'd be adorable.
It's all in your head.
Can we punch him then? Can we beat him up?
No,
we're not. We don't take it out on the game writers.
This place.
Your delusions are
Here's another really great thing about these sequences is the contrast. This is something too many scary games miss. This is something I think Amnesia actually didn't do well. Is you were in dark tunnels the whole time and it was relentless, and after a while it's like, I'm in a dark tunnel, I'm going into another dark tunnel. That's not actually that scary. If it gave you a breather and then it's like, oh wow, I've got to leave this safe area and go on, that's it gives you some contrast.
And this is really
nice. And I think this game does that really well. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. And I love how all the locations tie together around Cauldon Lake, and it keeps your focus on it. You very much have a sense. It's not just this big generic, oh, now you're in more woods, now you're in different woods. You have a sense of place and scale.
Memory of a dear friend and poet.
Oh, that's T.Z. Eliot.
Oh. Oh, no. See, I thought it was like a tie-in to like the... Oh, I see.
Well, no matter. This way. Follow me. Alan, what I'm telling you is good news.
Also, that I think that was an important thing, because up until this point, nobody knows who the hell Thomas Zane is. Like, nobody can find any of his works or anything.
Imagination.
And now here it is. Now here's
this guy who,
sundial.
who apparently knew this Thomas Zane rather well.
Because I'm lying? because you don't
Oh,
want
you
to
can see
admit
coffee up there.
Menstrual leaf?
Look at the
Oh,
coffee.
menstrual
natural
leaf.
for you to think of me as
I
your
thought he said
enemy.
menstrual,
It's
and I
part
got
of the
Let him
excited.
talk.
After all,
Hartman
I'm the one
Coffee?
Why would you get excited? Why would you get excited with
Because
that?
then I can relate!
I dug my nails into the palms of my hands to stay focused.
Oh wow, we're gonna meet somebody who has ovaries in this game. This will be awesome.
Hartman obviously loved his own voice. Oh, look who is goddamn talking.
Yeah, really.
I should have
Yeah,
timed that better,
really.
so it would have been like, Hartman's like, blah, 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 psychiatric, blah, and Alan's like, he obviously loved living in the sound of his voice. I reflected on how this ward was going, and I'm like, Alan Wake is keeping talking about things that I can pick up just by observing the game world. I wonder if he'll ever shut up.
So pay very close attention here to this guy up ahead. I want you to notice something about this guy here. Yeah. Yeah. Look at his fucking neck! What is wrong with his fucking neck? It's like 4 feet long!
It's actually not that unusually long.
That is not an unusually long neck. This guy's like a
mocap was
Slender
a
Man with really
I
bad
like that he's
Legend-
laughing, but with no movement.
Have you never seen The Legend of
Yeah.
lip syncing.
Mr. Wake is confused.
Yeah,
enough
lip
as it
syncing,
is.
awesome. That's who this guy is. This is the game designer in charge of lip sync for this game.
Emerson,
He went mad!
You go to the
He's
game
actually-
designer in charge for lip sync, and it turns out he has some sort of, like, brain disorder.
we're actually making
He's a
some
ventriloquist.
progress with him, I'm happy to say. He works on video games. It's trash, of course, but it does involve some small creative.
So
which makes
don't
him
everybody
receptive
say
to
nothing at
therapeutic
once.
methods.
Yeah, I thought... I mean, they were obviously
I'm just
trying to, like,
admiring this
poke a
guy's
little
sick
fun
move.
at that by saying, oh, video games are trash, but, like, that... I don't know.
This
Seems
is...
too silly.
Now, you might have noticed the type
Yeah, that poke at video games didn't really work.
as a part of the
Yeah.
therapy. As soon as you feel up
But
to it,
most of their stuff, whenever they start kind of even pseudo-breaking the fourth wall with other references to other Remedy properties and things like that, don't really work.
My rheumatism is killing me.
Open
Especially-
up
Coming. Oh,
Especially in the tone that this game's...
this place off the
Well, I keep saying, oh, this game's failing to hit the tone that it's aiming for, but we don't know what tone it's aiming for. It's not hitting the tone that it seems to be aiming for.
a heavy metal band
I love the
in
guy in his
70s
squeaky
and
hammer.
80s called Old
See, now that
Yes.
that made me laugh,
Even
and
adopted
the
new
references
first
to like
names
Max
to
Payne
complete the
didn't.
image of
I didn't
Viking
go, oh,
gods.
Max Payne
After the
reference, but
band
I
broke
did
up,
like
they
this
lived
old
on a
guy with
farm
his squeaky
nearby.
hammer.
They are, well,
You know why?
in
Because
the
this whole
advanced stages
fucking
of
game is a
dementia.
reference.
They're well cared for, TLC.
They're
and
playing the
all
Night
that
Springs
business.
board game. Do you realize how huge the friggin'
I'm
Night Springs
afraid that
property
the
might be?
rock and roll
Hey, have you guys
lifestyle
played a
has
Twilight
left its
Zone
mark.
video game and a
Yeah,
Twilight Zone
so
board
apparently
game?
Night Springs in this universe is
Why
also
isn't there a
Star
Twilight
Trek.
Zone?
Sorry to cut this
Why didn't
short,
they make a
Mr.
Twilight
Allen.
Zone
The
text
power
adventure
is
back in the
acting up.
day?
I'd better go check on it.
That would've been
we'll
awesome.
continue this soon.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
definitely.
when
I actually like the
Turn to your
we didn't really cover it when we picked it up, but way back when we were talking about ladders and we went to the top of that tower,
Don't you think?
we picked up a manuscript page that talked about the two rockers using the hammer
Right.
and hitting a guy over the head, and it really painted this really
Yeah.
violent picture.
And
I
it did,
love
and it
the-
said Nurse Sinclair, and it didn't like specify gender.
not crazy like us, Sonny.
Yes, I thought the same
So
thing.
you think
and
these,
and
like,
then I got here.
These
and saw
terrible
these
people are
two guys
hitting
with a
like
hammer.
women over the head with hammers.
Understand the world, what it's
Yep,
like.
I
Well,
thought
it
the
did say
same.
steel-headed hammer, I think.
Crazy to know crazy.
Right, but the
Right,
point
but that
is
was
it
him
setting
saying
up this
it.
image. It was setting up this image in your mind, and then you find these two old guys in a squeaky hammer, and then it's Alan Wake
Is that
with
guy
it.
Francis's
Oh my
voice actor?
Valhalla!
The dude with the bandana?
Lest we forget. A crash course.
He sounds kind of like Francis.
Get your head right. You need to find the message. Here, Sonny, here's something for you.
I like these
Gave me
guys.
a rash,
There's
but
Yeah.
something I like about
Yeah.
this video game.
Yes,
It's really,
these are
it's also
interesting.
really funny. So these guys have like a whole bunch of songs on the soundtrack. So before we started this season, Mumbles messaged me and said, "Oh man, this soundtrack sucks. All this Evanescence songs in it." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And like you said, like, old gods of Asgard, this is terrible. And I was like, oh, see, that's a joke.
Yeah, and it turns out that the people who made this game have excellent taste in music. Like, I read somewhere that they were going to put, like, Jeff Buckley on the soundtrack, which is, like, insane. Okay. I cannot imagine a video game with Jeff Buckley music in it, but I like that.
Wanted me to paint landscapes, and that's what I was doing.
Oh, Jeff Buckley. I didn't realize he also did music in addition to doing the webcomic Control Delete. Did you hear that?
Don't do that.
That was a reference.
Don't do that.
That was a reference to a thing that you might have heard of.
Let's put the link in big bold letters in case you didn't get that reference.
I guess I
It was a
So this is another
to
question
a
that this kind of
webcomic.
raises, is if all these guys are having their stuff come true, is this guy's paintings of, like, Alan Wake falling into the water, did that make Alan Wake fall into the water?
Smack the paint out of his hand.
Do these guys also have some creative share
Make him draw
in this
a naked lady
crazy
embracing
thing?
you.
Or do they just feel the vibrations of your creative energy? Am I right, you guys?
You got the good vibrations.
I was gonna say yes,
but I like that.
sounds
I like
really
that question.
weird.
But I like that question. It's like, how much of this is them shaping the world, and how much of it is them just being characters in a world that you're making, and you're not sure where the line is?
You know what's integral to my mental health? Coffee.
It's weird because you end up having all these different media, like video games, painting, music, but it's sort of implied that they have different ways of impacting the world, and I think it's implied that writing is the most direct, because both Zane and Wake are the two that can directly, literally manifest the future.
Right.
Whereas, you know,
hate that
the old gods of Asgard don't actually have Thor show up and start rocking out with the giant hammer.
Oh, why do you gotta think of things that are awesome that are not in this game?
Thor rocking out with the giant. That sounds a little bit like the book American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I was making a reference, just like the characters in Alan Wake, a video game.
Actually, if they would have put a Jeff Buckley song into this game, it would have been a clever reference because they found Jeff Buckley's body near a riverbed. So he probably drowned to death. And this is about drowning.
Not so much clever as tasteless. Why is there so much coffee all over this? I mean, coffee? I love coffee!
So, I hope we all enjoyed this little bit of exposition in adventure gaming, because things are about to get monumentally stupid.
Stupid.